everyone, welcome to BYOB, the Bring Your Own Book podcast. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Nikki.
And today we are here to talk about Wicked, the movie!
Yay!
For people who are not watching us talk about this, I just waved my Starbucks Glinda cup. Not sponsored, just crazy obsessed.
At least you got the Glinda cup from Starbucks because she didn't get the Glinda cup from Cineplex.
I know. They were out. The movie came out today.
I know.
Who
I
are these
think
people?
that people were buying them like days ahead. I saw a girl in line with her Glinda bucket waiting to get popcorn.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Nikki got the last Alphaba popcorn bucket, and I got the last Glinda bucket, so take that.
And really, I mean, with everything that we do with the podcast, like all of our colors that we do, Kelly's always light and I'm always dark. And it really just fits with the whole aesthetic that she would love Glinda and I would love Elphaba. Not that I don't love Glinda and she doesn't love Elphaba.
Oh,
but,
no.
you know, we identify with who we identify with.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I was thinking about that earlier myself, and I was like, when I was a little kid, when this all came out, and when I saw it finally on stage, like, I was always Glinda. And
Right.
I would look at Elphaba and think, oh, I wish I could be like Elphaba, but I'm not. I'm Glinda, you know?
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be everybody.
No, you cannot.
No.
Because that would be weird.
Right? Yeah, and exhausting, but...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So all that to say, we do realize this is a book podcast. However, this is also our book podcast, and this is a movie based off of a musical, based off of a book. No. Yes, that was based off of a movie that was based off of another book series.
His book is not based off of the movie. His book is based off of the book.
Oh, did I say that wrong order? See, it's like so many...
This is a movie musical based off of a Broadway musical, based off of Gregory Maguire's book Wicked, that is based off of L. Frank Baum's book, The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, which in turn had a movie that was made with Judy Garland that we all know. Even if you haven't seen it, you've heard of it.
1939, Wizard of Oz. Boom.
See, it's like
MGM.
down the rabbit hole. I'm like, where am I? Follow the Yellow Brick Road. I have lost myself. I couldn't even keep that straight. There's so many stories related to his... I guess it's a series, not a book. The Wizard of Oz, but...
Well, The Wizard of Oz is a book, but it's in the Oz series that L. Frank Baum wrote 14 books on alone. That's just him.
Oh my God.
And then they continued the series, like his estate. So there are a lot of books.
Holy crap.
And yeah.
That's so interesting, though.
Yeah.
And this is based off of another book that was inspired by the original books. So Nikki is going to give us a little synopsis on the material that this movie and musical is based on, because it's not quite the same as the Wizard of Oz movie that you're used to.
Yeah. So this is the synopsis for Wicked by Gregory Maguire. What started it all? Again. When Dorothy triumphed over the Wicked Witch of the West in L. Frank Baum's classic tale, we heard only her side of the story. But what about her arch nemesis, the mysterious witch? Where did she come from? How did she become so wicked? And what is the true nature of evil? Gregory Maguire creates a fantasy world so rich and vivid that we will never look at Oz the same way again. Wicked is about a land where animals talk and strive to be treated like first-class citizens. Munchkinlanders seek the comfort of middle-class stability, and the Tin Man becomes a victim of domestic violence. And then there is the little green-skinned girl named Elphaba, who will grow up to become the infamous Wicked Witch of the West, a smart, prickly, and misunderstood creature who challenges all our preconceived notions about the nature of good and evil.
Yeah.
And that's that. Which doesn't really tell you anything
It's a
about what
lot.
happens in the book.
There's a lot in the book, and like I'm just gonna be out upfront with everybody. I didn't read the whole book. I read half of the book when I was a kid, and I think
Right.
I read it when I was way too young, as
A lot
happened
of
to
people
me all
did.
the time. Yeah. Because I was like, I love this and I love to read. I'm going to give it a go. And I was like, this is very dark because the book is pretty dark. I I don't know if I can add it to my TBR at this moment because there's way too much going on with school and other books right now. Maybe one day. But you read the book ages ago.
I did. And I read the first 4 books in the
Oh,
series.
are they all connected
Yep.
or okay?
Yep. They're all connected. And to be honest, it was so long ago, I don't remember a whole lot of any of the plot points
Mm,
other than, well, a major plot point, which I'm not going to say in case because people are now going to want to read the series.
yeah.
And so I'm not going to say it, but the book and the musical are 2 totally different entities in terms of theme they choose to
Yeah.
highlight in a lot of
Tone.
cases. Um, the vibe, the
Yes.
essence, if you will, very different.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Because
But
even just what
I
I
liked
read
the
of it.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like the book. I think I was too young to read it, possibly, but I enjoyed it.
Mm. All I really remember, well, that's not true. I remember like little things, but one thing that stood out for me, people, I've lost my mind after watching this movie. We'll get into it very soon, I promise. But like, I can't even form thoughts right now. So this is gonna be interesting.
It's a lot. This
But
movie was long.
it was an epic saga. It was 2 hours 40 minutes for the first act of this show, which is normally like an hour 45.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I will say in the book, Fiyero, who's played by Jonathan Bailey in the movie from Bridgerton, we love him. How could you not?
Right.
He's blue in the book, and I remember that and being like, oh, he's blue, you know. But they didn't do that for the musical. They didn't do that for the movie. That's okay. We want Alphabet to stand out as much as she can, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, let's dive into this movie because holy crap. I gotta say, like I've said on here before, when they first announced this movie, I was like, oh God, what is this gonna be?
Yeah. I was worried and I didn't think about it for a long time.
Mm,
Like not until the summer when it was like announced that it like
yeah.
or whenever they announced the actual like date, like it's for sure coming out at the end of this year. I
Hmm.
just pushed it to the back of my mind like it didn't exist.
Well, I was like, I was so worried and stressed. And this isn't even like my favorite all time musical.
Right.
I loved it when I saw it, but I just like, we've seen so many adaptations just not meet our expectations, and maybe we have too high expectations, whatever. But when they announced Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, I was like, okay, we know for
Yeah.
sure that the music will be so good. And people had their opinions, whatever. I freaking loved this movie. I'm just going to say it right now. I freaking loved it. What did you think, Nikki? How did you feel?
I also really loved it. I was very skeptical, not because of the people who were in it, like you said, Cynthia Erivo, already a Broadway
Oh,
legend, like
oh my
we're
God.
people who know. Also, she
Yes.
was in Harriet Tubman, like Harriet, the movie about Harriet Tubman. So
Yes.
we know
Oh
she's got the film
God.
acting too. I wasn't worried.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really worried about Ariana Grande either, other than the fact like I'm just not a fan of hers. Like I don't like her music. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have anything to go off of other than I really hope that they don't ruin the integrity of the way that Glinda sings just because it's Ariana Grande, which they didn't do. And I'm
Yes.
very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um Yeah, I mean, were there things obviously that I was like, yes. And we'll get
Yeah.
into that later when we talk about some more like spoilery stuff. But I think
Yes.
on the whole, this is a very beautiful adaptation. They stuck so true to the source material in terms of the essence of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
which was really important to me.
Yeah.
Granted, I cannot remember enough of like what happens in the actual musical to be like, that's not the same. I saw it one time and I listened to the
Yeah,
soundtrack,
same.
which is not watching the musical.
Yes.
So I wasn't really picky about that. The scenes were very long, and obviously
Yeah.
this was 2 hours and 40 minutes for an act that'd be an hour 40 on stage. So clearly they embellished. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. I think we all knew what we were getting into. I think my real critique will come when the second half comes out. And how are they
Yes.
going to make that a full length movie? And what are the new
Yes.
songs going to sound like? Because I don't
I
really want new
know.
songs.
Did Steven Schwartz write the new songs? I really hope so.
I don't know. I'm
Like,
assuming so.
yikes. I hope so, because that's like we all saw. Well, maybe we all didn't see Cats. We saw Cats,
Yeah, we did.
and that was quite the trip. And they only added like one or two songs, but then they
Yeah.
redid all the other ones, and it was just garbage. I can't even say garbage. That's like an insult to garbage, honestly. Like it was
I
so
know.
bad.
Why did you have to make a new tune for Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser?
That's
That's
one of
one
the
of the
good
best songs
songs.
in
Yes.
the actual musical. I'm a Cats fan, okay? Like, I'm a dancer first and foremost. And if you have a dance background, you probably like Cats because it's all dancing. And it doesn't matter that it's silly, the talent that people have to be in that show and the
Yeah.
stamina you have to have is extraordinary. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they just like shit so hard on it for the public to see just grinds my gears so bad.
The fact that Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber himself was like, I hate this, that's really bad. And also kind of like, I would feel terrible if I was in it and the creator said that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
mean, I know you don't like Taylor Swift, but he was probably
No.
like the only part I liked was that I got to write a song with Taylor Swift. Like, that was probably it. Because that shit
Great.
was whack.
I'm so happy for you. At least she wasn't in the movie as a cat. Like there were way too many people who didn't need to be in that movie looking like not even a cat. It was ridiculous.
She was a
But
cat in the movie.
anyways, what? No, she
Yeah.
wasn't. Was
Yeah,
she?
she was. She sang McCavity.
Ew! See, I blocked it
Yeah.
out. Ew! Okay, well, moving on because I don't want to talk about her and ruin this. Okay. Speaking of dancing, what did you think of the choreo? What did you think of the dancing?
I I am of two opinions.
Okay, I have some opinions too, so I'm very curious.
I am going to preface what I say by I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody did really well. That being said, I would have really liked to see them stick to the jazz roots of the
Mm-hmm.
choreography instead of making it hip hop. I understand that hip hop's like the thing now, and Hamilton had so much hip hop in it, and people fucking choke on Hamilton's dick and they just like want to incorporate that into everything. I get
Yeah.
it. I love Hamilton too. But this isn't Hamilton.
No.
It's not a hip hop musical. And we didn't really have to have people like twerking, crumping to No One Mourns the Wicked on the Yellow Brick Road. Do I think they did a great job? Yes. Do I think they needed to do it? No.
Yeah.
What
That's
are your
true.
dance
Like
opinions?
as a mover with facial expressions, I would say I thought some of the dancing was really exciting to watch, and it reminded me of the Brandy Whitney Houston Cinderella movie
Oh
that
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
watched all the time as a kid, because you have these long dance sequences with like a huge ballroom of people all doing
Yep.
things, or like even like the village scenes where people are running around and everything is choreographed. I love that stuff. It makes it
Yep.
feel so alive and rich. However, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't really like the trend of making the stomps sound so loud when they're dancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really got that in what is it? No One Mourns
One
the
short
Wicked.
day.
They did
Oh,
it,
one
and One
short day
Short
too.
Day, they did it really bad.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. Either the
Yeah.
mics pick it up and you put a little bit of that in, but like don't have some Foley artist stomp over that, because that's what it was. It was
Yes.
somebody in a studio stomping to match.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. Like, I understand they're trying to make it like more like ooh, 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 like
Yeah.
crisp, hard, whatever. But like, I don't want to hear that. If I'm going to hear the sound of them dancing, I want it to be a tap number. And I want to
Yeah.
hear those taps.
Yeah.
And that better be part of the music. None of this dancing over the music with your tap shoes. I hate that. I can go on for an hour about that, so I
Yeah.
won't. But that kind of bugged me. But I really liked the dancing overall. But I
Yeah.
do agree with the hip hop stuff. When that came up, I was like, oh, okay,
And
interesting.
I really liked the One Short Day number because it really seemed to call to Consider Yourself and Oliver.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I was getting. You're seeing all the people in their different parts of the city and they're welcoming them and they're showing them kind of what they do day to day kind of thing. I
Yeah.
love that. But also sometimes with the dancing, it felt kind of empty.
Mm.
Like they could have been doing, with the exception of Dancing Through Life, because that was like
Oh,
perfection, really. That whole
yeah.
dance number was just completely amazing.
Oh, we all
But I
fell
find,
back in love with Jonathan. Like,
right?
oh,
But I think the larger spaces, like when the sets were larger, they needed more dancers.
mm,
I feel like No One Mourns the Wicked felt like they were just in lines
mm,
doing a dance, and I would have liked to have seen more people. And the same with One Short Day. I'm going to reference
mm.
Oliver again. In Consider Yourself, you see like hundreds of people. It looks like hundreds of people all doing this dance, and I would have liked to have had more of that hustle and bustle.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
not
did
everything
like
can
the
be
clump
perfect.
in is it Dancing Through Life? Or no, no, no. What is this feeling?
Oh
With the
yeah.
books and stuff, and they were
Yeah.
going, oh, I'm gonna
People
walk it
have
down with
been
my
doing
books
that
like
on
that.
TikTok so much because they released that clip
Oh,
early.
okay.
Yeah, I know. You did really good at shielding yourself. I
I
didn't.
tried. I watched so much promotional material, interviews, but as soon as they were like, "We have a short clip," I left. I was like, "I don't want to see it." I saw the trailer. I saw like the 5 seconds of Dancing Through Your Life of like, you're perfect, so we're perfect together." That's
Yeah.
it. I'm like, I don't want to see it. I want to see it in the big room with the big sound and
Right.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I will say, speaking of being in the big room with the big sound, I really appreciated that nobody made big sound of their own
Thank
because I was
God.
ready to fight if someone was going to sing.
Someone was ready to fight before the movie even started. We
Yeah,
have
that's
to
true.
share that. Like, what? It was
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
You were
Yeah.
closer to it, so you please share.
So there's this whole saga leading up to the movie where my boyfriend ends up coming with us. He was happy to
Yeah.
come. He shed tears. He loved it.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, Kelly says, "This is my seat," or "This is seat 9, and we're in 9 through 12." And so we all sit down accordingly, and Bryce is sitting in seat 12. And this guy, after they walk past us 2 times because nobody could count,
Yeah.
that's another story.
There's numbers on the frickin' chairs,
Yeah.
people.
He says to Bryce, "You're in my seat." And Bryce says, "I'm in seat 12. What's your seat?" And he says, "It's 13." that's my seat. And Bryce goes, no, this is seat 12. And then they're counting, and it turns out people over past us
Yeah.
couldn't count.
Yeah.
And so
Couldn't
they're
read.
sitting in the wrong seats. And so the guy sits down beside Bryce because his seat is 13
So
beside Bryce.
awkward.
And Bryce leans over to me and he says, I guess I'm watching this movie with Glinda the bitch. And I just died.
And I leaned over to Rebecca, our friend who came with us, and because I was watching this and like, oh no, am I in the wrong spot? And I looked and looked and looked. I was not in the wrong spot. And I see this happen and I'm like, oh my God. And I look over at Rebecca and I'm like, is he a good witch or a bad witch? I think he's a bad witch. It's like, what the heck? Why?
Yeah.
It was so stressful. Like, why are you being aggro at Wicked?
I know. Everybody's just here to have a good time in their little
Yeah.
pink and green outfits.
Yeah.
I know.
I wish I had pink. I have this. My big bucket, which is not
Just
here.
Yeah.
But you know.
I'm wearing green pants, so.
I thought you were going to say panties. I was like, okay. Like,
No.
good to know.
Pants. Yoga pants.
I also this is like so random, but it's because it's me. I got distracted by the amount of people leaving throughout the movie to go pee or throw garbage or whatever. Hold your garbage, bitch. Okay, this
Like
is
Bryce.
Wicked. Someone
Bryce
like
got up twice.
I know. I was like, what is going on? I was
'Cause he
scared of the guy
has
beside him.
big thirst and a tiny bladder. That's why.
Wow. I mean, hey.
He goes,
Can't help.
he leans over during Dancing Through Life and he goes, I have to pee. And I was like, okay.
What
And
do
I
you
was
want me to
like,
do about
you
it?
can go. And so he goes and he comes back and they're still in the dance. So he like
Yeah.
literally didn't miss anything because that song is so long.
Yes.
And it's
Well,
10 times longer in the movie.
did you see like the 4 girls who ran into the theater right before Defying Gravity started? I was like, girl, you're at the end of
No.
the movie. They ran and they're like, ah, and like went to their seats. I'm like, yeah, hello, you almost missed the big climax.
Yeah, why we're all here.
Seriously. Oh my God. Before we get to spoilers, because I have so many spoiler things I need to say, but before we get to spoilers, let's just quickly touch on some other things,
Yeah.
round this out, and then we gotta just share our feelings about everything. The sets. I
Banging.
loved the sets. That, the Shiz University,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. It was like Minas Tirith, but
Yeah.
not. Like,
Yeah.
it
It was
was so
beautiful.
beautiful. The paintings on the stone and the colors, the fields
Yeah.
of tulips that they actually planted,
Yep.
which is bonkers because here I am watching the camera pan over them and zoom in as they're like running at the beginning. And I'm thinking, what if one of those tulips died? What if they had to like replant? What if it didn't get enough sunlight? Or what if, like,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the gardeners must have been so stressed.
I know.
Frig.
Yeah. It's just unreal, like how much real effect, real set, no CGI. I mean, there was CGI, but like
Yeah.
an overwhelming majority of what you're watching is real.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. I feel like that's
Mhm.
very rarely done. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
part of the reason this movie is so successful. We've all been there. You're watching something and you're like, wow, that's really fake. And it just takes you out of it.
Yeah.
So I loved it. And their costumes were like to die for.
Oh my God.
Just
literally
freaking beautiful. Glinda's, like everything Glinda had was just like, oh my God. And so like foofy and like
yes.
cute.
It was so beautiful, and I love how they paid homage to the Broadway show, even with the costumes, but they made
Yeah.
it fresh and unique, and everything looked like a real world, like And it looked good quality too. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, we used an IKEA rug for the cape. Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
No shame in using IKEA rugs. Just you got to make sure it looks not like an IKEA rug. So,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. I also really loved Elphaba's glasses.
Me
I thought
too.
those were so cool. How much you want to bet that people are going to be wearing shit like that?
Oh, a hundred
I feel like
percent.
it would feel
That makes sense.
lopsided on my face, but
I
I don't
don't
know.
know. Because they still have like the little nose
Yeah,
thingies that just kind of blended in.
I know.
But
They just look like
uh,
they'd make me go, "Mm," like,
just topple over.
yeah. Or I'd be walking around like this to compensate.
Her okay, sorry. Now that we're talking about Alphaba, her wigs, because
Yeah,
thankfully they got someone who knows how to do a freaking wig for her.
I know.
She looked so good. I loved her big braid she wore for half the movie.
Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
gosh, it was so cute and just like get it out of my way, I'm busy, you know?
Yeah.
I
And her
loved it.
nails. I was like, yes.
Mhm.
As
Yes.
someone who loves long nails, I was like, yeah. I don't have any right now. But
Me neither. People are definitely going to get her nails because they zoomed in on her nails after they went to the salon
yeah.
in the Emerald City, and
Yeah.
they looked so nice. Oh my god.
I know. Also, Cynthia Erivo's nails on this press tour have been like insane. Like I can't do nails that long. I think I'd kill myself, but
Yeah.
beautiful.
She always has like the most on her fingers. I mean, you
Yeah.
do you. I could not. I don't know how I would do anything. I always think, how am I going to go to the bathroom?
She
Literally.
could pay somebody to help her go to the bathroom if she wanted.
Now she could. She
Yeah.
got that wicked money now,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, speaking of, she's got the wicked money, all the freaking branding stuff going on.
Oh my god, I know. It's
Uh,
insane how much merch and like brand uh what am I saying? You know, like brand team ups that
Collaboration.
they're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
collaborations with different things. Luggage,
Cars.
clothing. What?
Cars.
Cars.
They look
That's weird.
disgusting, by the way. I'll send you a picture after. I took a screenshot because I was like, this has to
Yeah.
be a joke. Like,
That's
who's
like a
buying
lot of
that?
money to spend on to be like, I got my wicked branded car.
Well, and the thing is, it said concept car. So I'm like, is this a real thing? Or I don't know. I
Huh.
don't know. I'll send you a picture. It was bizarre. I tried to
Yeah.
take screenshots of everything I saw that was
Yeah.
Wicked related, and then I was like, this is too much. I can't.
Yeah.
There was Roots, there's Lush, there's makeup, there's Ariana's makeup because she's got her own makeup line, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? There isn't a Shiz University sweater.
I know. What a letdown.
I want one. They look
I
so
know.
cozy and cute.
They do. They really do.
I guess I'll go to Etsy. But I'm like, where did you get it?
Yeah.
I hate it.
I know. And
But
it's like missed
anyways,
opportunity because it's just like also funny because it's like shit.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
could we not have some merch for the meme girlies? Like, I
Yeah.
exist.
Hello. I don't fit my Wicked shirts anymore that I got when I was a preteen or whatever, a
Right.
teenager. So I need something. I wish I had pink. I didn't have any pink, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
know.
fine.
Like, I don't know. I haven't, other than the popcorn bucket, I haven't gotten any merch and I haven't really like felt like it. I think that
Hmm.
unless it's something that I'm going to actively use, I just
Yeah.
don't have space for it.
Well, yeah.
Even though there's like definitely things that are cute, but I'm like, do I want to carry around this like very green or very pink thing all the time? Probably not. Like, so
Yeah. I will use my cup because I use these all the time. So I was
yeah.
like, I'm doing it. But yeah, no, I'm not going to get a Lexus, I think, concept car that's blinged out.
Yeah.
I'm even like there was a really cute root sweater that was like the Emerald City and it was so expensive, but I'm like you can't wear anything with that. That is your whole outfit. It was so busy and so
Yeah.
expensive. I'm like that's not me. Look at me. Like are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's not happening. So,
I know.
but
Yeah.
I was tempted to buy the record, like the actual vinyl of it.
Oh, yeah.
But then I thought, no, I don't want to spend like $80 on a record when I've bought all the other ones for like $1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll just listen to it online.
I think too, I will probably still listen to the Broadway soundtrack
Mm,
more than I will listen to the movie one.
yeah.
Because even though I loved the singular songs, there were just some vocal choices that happened in some of the songs that I don't like.
Okay.
And
Shall
so,
we transition into spoilers now so we can talk
yeah,
about
I think that
it?
we should because I have things to
Okay.
say.
Me too.
It's
Okay, so
hard to dance
everybody,
dance around them.
right? Everybody, if you haven't seen Wicked, go see it or not. It's fine. But if you don't
It's
want to hear
great.
spoilers, yeah,
It's worth it. And bring your
it is worth
tissues.
it. Yes, yes. I cried this morning watching the Tony performance while I ate my bagel,
Mhm.
so that was fun. But no real tears came out during the movie. I welled up. I had like a heaviness in my chest, but I held it together, and I don't even know how, but it is emotional.
Yeah.
So like Bryce was crying, you were crying,
Yeah.
Rebecca was crying. I was like catatonic at the end. I said I can't get up. I have to sit here for a sec. I'm so
Yeah.
drained.
I literally like I knew I was going to cry whether I liked it or not
Mhm.
because the music makes me cry. Because the
Yes.
music, the composition is so good. And
Mhm.
also, I'm so tired. I'm I'm in my reading week. I start exams next week. We have a renovation going on at my house. It's been the week from actual hell.
Oh god.
And during the commercials for the movies were making me almost cry before the movie
Oh.
even started. So I knew that I was like, I'm tired. And so
Okay.
I'm just gonna, like, I'm just teary anyway.
Yeah.
But I held it in through the whole thing. And then at the end, I was like, I can't even hold it in anymore because I just feel like shit and I just need to cry because
Right.
I'm done.
I thought you meant the commercials at the movie because there were so many commercials. I was like, start the movie. Oh my
No, but like the
god.
trailers for the
Yeah.
like Paddington, I don't even like Paddington Bear. I've never seen a Paddington Bear movie, but he's like,
It's
I have to go
cute.
find my aunt and she's missing and she raised me. And I was like, oh, that's so sad.
It's a really good movie, I will say. I saw the first one and it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. It's very heartwarming, so you may cry.
Because they were books, right?
Yeah.
Paddington Bear.
Yeah. I think they came out like 20 years after Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
So, two big bear books from the UK.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
But yeah, I almost cried at the very beginning of the movie in No One Mourns the Wicked cuz
Yep.
I love that song. I love the ensemble stuff. Um I almost cried though when she lit the big like
Oh
matchstick
my God.
man,
Yeah.
wicker man, not matchstick man.
I know.
Different Nick Cage. Oh wait, is he in that? Yes, the
Yeah.
new one.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Nick Cage
whatever.
is in the Wicker Man remake.
I saw the OG one, the musical. Okay.
I've never seen the original. I've only seen the Nick Cage version.
I really liked it. It was creepy.
Yeah,
And
it
Scott
is.
didn't tell me it was a musical and I was like, "What is this?" It was so good.
It's
Is the
so
Nick
weird that
Cage
it's a
one not?
musical. No.
Oh, it's I think you'll really like it. It's so good. It's not
I'll
like
watch it.
musical like this one,
Yeah,
but
no.
it's so good. But Kate, no, when they lit that thing on fire, when she lit
Yeah,
it, I was like, it's something about the height, and the
I
fire and
know.
just everything. I was like, oh my god,
She
like,
did a very, very good job emoting.
she
Um,
did.
really felt her emotion. Like, you could tell that she, as Glinda, was really thinking about what she was saying when
Mm-hmm.
she is like saying to the kid. I can't even remember what part of the song it is now, but she's basically like singing about being like wicked, but she's singing about herself having
Yeah.
no friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, that like it gets you. And then you hear the ensemble sing their little one-liners with a pop voice, and it just totally takes you out of all that.
Yeah,
It was
like
like,
one of my favorite parts of that song, for whatever reason, like from the original soundtrack, is the three women saying, through their lives our children learn. I had to stop myself from
yeah,
singing it. But I
yeah.
love that part for whatever reason. And in the movie, I was like, okay, like it's there, but it's not as, you know?
It that I think the thing with Wicked, it's like from what, 2001 or 2003 or something.
Three.
It's still it's like in a transitional period in Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Still very classical, but starting to become more pop or more like mainstream sounding, but
Yeah.
it holds that kind of like Broadway voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like elevated and very strong.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you have somebody sing and they're like, no one mourns the wicked, and I'm like, what?
Cut my
I
life into pieces.
This is my last resort, and I'm like,
No one mourns the wicked. Not
but
like that.
that it just felt like, did you get lost? Are you on the wrong set? Are you supposed to be on like Studio B over there?
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't happen very often through the movie.
No.
But to start off on that note, literally, I was just kind of taken aback.
I guess like I maybe what they were going for was like we want to see your individuality, like all the different townspeople. But I'm like, I don't want to see that. I'm here
I
for
don't
the
care.
choral sound.
Yep.
That is supposed to sound, in my mind, supposed to sound like the traditional MGM musical kind of like opening credit sequence where you have the choir singing, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you want to, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that. And yes, you have your
Yeah.
solo lines, but yeah, you got to give it some zazz.
You have to keep that voice, literally.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
voice of the people. Keep it.
Not the voice of the person, the voice
No.
of the people, okay?
I
Yeah.
don't remember who these people were. I don't remember what they looked like. I just remember that I
No.
heard that line and I went, "Nyeh,
I
nyeh."
one of my I don't want to say complaints because even though I have little things, I still loved the movie.
Oh yeah, it was
Um
beautiful
oh yeah, like
in every way.
hello. Yes. One thing that bothered me, I will say, is because it's a movie, I understand you have to change certain things in terms of like pacing, flow, whatever.
Hmm.
But did you find at moments they like dragged out the song a little bit too much and like put in way too many dialogue sequences? Because then you lose the momentum of the music. And I was
Yeah.
like, the music is helping propel this emotional journey, and you keep interrupting me when I'm feeling the things, and then we're talking again, and then I feel the crescendo of the music. I'm thinking of Defying Gravity.
Oh yeah.
There were so many little scenes in there, and there's a few in the show, like in the musical, but like I felt myself tearing up so many times, and then it would go away because we're talking again and
I
blah blah
know.
blah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, I wasn't really thinking about that, but when you say it, I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that song, if you know the story,
Oh,
even if you don't, Bryce had no idea what this movie really was like going into it. He
what
hadn't
a
even seen The
treat.
Wizard of Oz all the way through, which is sacrilege to me because I
Right?
lived on that movie growing up. But he even cried during Defying Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
And So you're preparing yourself because you know you're going to
Mhm.
cry. And you're in a room full of like all of these other people that you don't know, and you don't want to be that bitch who's like in the theater, because that's embarrassing. And so you're preparing yourself to like check and be like tension
Yep.
headache yourself out of tears.
Yes, me
And
right now.
right? So you do that and you're like, okay, it's happening and I just got to get through it. But then they stop and you're like, it's just long enough for you to relax.
Yep.
And then they start up again and you're like, and then they stop again and you're like, okay, yeah, cool, breathing
Mhm.
normal. Like my eyes are not popping out of my head anymore. And then they go again and I'm just like, could we just get it over with already?
I
Like,
know.
let me just feel the thing so I can get over the thing and my face can
Right?
stop being red and I
Right?
can breathe.
I don't know how to describe it, so this is gonna sound so ridiculous, but it was what I would imagine blue balls feels like. I was
Yeah,
like, can I please just have this emotional release that you
right?
keep promising me, and then you stop, and then
Yeah,
you go again, and then you stop.
I know. Yeah. I feel like that too. And I also there there were moments with other songs where I felt like that, but not with that emotion, but just
Yeah.
like I forgot the song was even happening.
Mm,
Dancing Through Life,
yeah, which
when
is
they're
already long.
they're dancing together. I don't think that happens in the musical, but I can't remember.
I think they yeah, I don't think the two girls dance together. I think they have like a moment and
Yeah,
they become
that
friends.
doesn't
Yeah.
last like 15 minutes. That was
Yeah.
such a long thing. Like it was nice and like I teared up. Bryce cried too when they were doing that together and when she
Mhm.
started crying. But
Yes.
then they sing the end of Dancing Through Life and I was like, "Oh, sorry, we're still doing this."
Right?
And I felt like
Fiero's
that.
like, "Hello."
Yeah, I felt like that too, in One Short Day when we have the Idina Menzel Kristen Chenoweth thing happen, and we're like,
Yes.
"Oh my god, that's so awesome!" And then they go into the end of One Short Day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that there's a
Yeah.
whole end part of this song that isn't really part of the rest of the song, but they segue." And
Mhm. I will say I like heard a tiny bit about that, like barely anything. I
right.
heard that there was going to be a Kristen Chenoweth cameo, and then I kind of forgot about it.
I
And
didn't
when I
even
saw,
know. I was surprised by them completely, and I was like, "This is
right,
amazing."
well, when I saw them, yeah, I looked at you like, because I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, and I heard people gasping, people in the
yeah,
know, but like I loved that they actually had them singing and not just like,
yes,
hey, what you doing, kid? The wizard's
yeah.
over there, like they had them
I
sing.
know.
And I loved the part when Kristen Chenoweth sang, and then Ariana tries to join, and she's
And
like,
she goes, I know. Yeah.
I loved Ariana's energy throughout the whole movie. She was like manic gerbil, like Energizer Bunny. Like,
Well, she took a lot of Kristen Chenoweth's mannerisms from the show, which I
hmm,
loved.
yeah,
They really held the characters like true and paid great homage to Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
yes,
And that's what people freaking want. They don't want Mean Girls where Tina Fey says, "We're doing something different. We're not doing Mean Girls on Broadway." Then don't do the musical, bitch. Why'd you write the Broadway
right,
musical if you just want to change it to be bad for the
yeah,
TV? I just don't get it.
I
They gave
know,
the people what they wanted. And what we wanted
yes.
was to feel like we are watching Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth on Broadway.
We wanted to be
Yeah.
in the world with them, and enveloped by the sounds and the colors, and oh my gosh, it was just so like it was an epic saga. It
Hmm.
totally was. And yeah, I don't even know. Like I found myself forgetting what songs were coming at one point because I
Yeah.
was like, where are we? Like, are we gonna get As Long As You're Mine? I was like, oh no, that's the second part. Like it
Yeah.
just was I loved the forest.
I know, right?
Oh. Oh my god. That
And
is like,
her in the forest was beautiful because she's green
oh,
and then everything else is green. And she like
yes.
blended but stood out so
Oh,
beautifully.
that's like the Swan Princess forest. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like the Disney princess forest of my dreams. It is
I
just so
know.
lush and beautiful and private and cozy and magical and
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was really, really
oh,
beautiful. But all the sets were beautiful. And I was worried that it was
yes.
going to be very light
Mm.
and that everything, you know, when people do a fantasy show or movie, and I feel like I say this a lot, everybody looks like they know what a cell phone is and that they've come
Mm-hmm.
to put on this production and the sets show it and the costumes show it and the people's faces show it. That's what I was worried about
Mm.
because a lot of the clips you were seeing were very bright.
Yes.
And I am so, so happy that that is not the case because I was ready to be let down by that aspect.
I agree. I think it was just right. It was
Yeah.
just the right amount of color. It still looked like it was rooted in some kind of reality.
Yeah.
I loved everyone's makeup. I think they looked like realistic,
Yeah.
and the people who need to have a little pop, they had a little pop. I thought, I mean, Cynthia looked gorgeous.
I
Oh my
know
god, like
her
she
the
already
green was
does.
flawless.
Oh my god, I heard they did her whole scalp because of her wigs in case
Yeah.
she moved and you saw some. She's like, I want it to be green,
Yeah.
like, and she's already like, she has a shaved head in her normal life. So, yeah, it's like, great,
Right.
just sit there, do it up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I would
it's
be very
just
surprised if
stunning.
she didn't, or if they didn't win a Oscar for makeup for her
Yeah.
alone, because it was
I think they'll be
just
taking a lot of
beautiful.
production awards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about acting, not because they were bad, but because I don't know what they're up against, right? But like,
Yeah, and I think it's
I thought it was
hard
great.
too for a musical to win in acting because they're going up against films that are done by like Martin Scorsese and stuff like that where it's like very um not
Real.
that this wasn't intentional cuz it was, but it's like very deep intentional
Yeah.
like storyline, focus on the plot. If you miss 3 sentences, you don't know what's going on and people love that shit. I like that shit sometimes too. But
Yeah.
I think that it's just not generally where people tend to lie when it comes to the
Hmm.
academy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll
So
see. What do you think? Which song do you think will be nominated, or which songs will be nominated?
I don't think we've heard any of them yet
Really?
because they would be like it's like best song written for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're going to nominate any of the songs that are already in the
Oh,
musical because I don't think they
yeah.
count.
That's a good point. I don't know.
And they're definitely not nominating that thing that Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth sang.
No.
Like
No,
whatever the
no,
fuck
no.
that was.
I just really want to see Cynthia sing Define Gravity with the rig for the stage show, because
Yeah, do it like on
holy,
Broadway.
yes. There
I
was
wouldn't be
nothing
surprised if
wrong.
they got to do it. Her and
Oh,
Ariana.
I would love it, because it's like, that's the thing. There's like a few moments in theater, no matter what, I cry. And that is
Yep,
one of them.
I know.
In the movie, it was still so powerful, because it's like, how often do we see a woman taking her power, like taking control of her own powers, and she just soars, literally and figuratively. And
Yeah,
it was just so like overwhelming in the best way.
yeah,
Ah, I just
I know.
I can't. I'm like you, I don't even remember most of the ending, because I'm just like of the next part, I mean,
Yeah,
because I've only seen it once and I listened to the soundtrack, but that's not the same, you know?
yeah. Yeah, like I know all the songs,
Yeah.
but that doesn't necessarily mean that I remember everything that goes on between the songs.
No, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's got to be. I
They're
mean,
going to
I
add even
remember some
more.
things, right? That's what's giving me a little bit of
Anxiety.
unease.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. I they haven't said anything to my knowledge about what's going to happen. So I'm like, what did you do and who did it?
I know. Who do we have to fire around here?
After the fact. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to, I guess for now, be happy that this first part was a success.
Oh god, was it
And,
ever?
if I have to pretend that the second half doesn't exist, then I can do that.
Yeah.
I really can. That
Yeah.
was fine.
Yeah.
Power to
De-
the people. And
Depending on my mood, I do that for Sound of Music, honestly,
yeah,
cuz the first half is like rom-com fun, second half is like, oh shit.
when I was a kid, I didn't even know there was a second half because I didn't know you had to put the second VHS in to watch it. I only ever watched the first half over and over and over and over again. I didn't know that it was about Nazis. I didn't know that they had to flee. I literally was like, Liesel and Rolf, and I sang the good songs, and then I just rewound the tape.
I mean, hey, good for you.
Yep.
Your mom's like, should we tell her?
My dad's probably like, I'm too tired to explain Nazism to her right now. No.
Oh my god, I love
Uh,
that.
yeah. So
Oh,
here we
gosh.
are.
I just I I'm probably going to see it 3 times, honestly. I already have a date set for my mom and one of my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I told Scott I would like to go on a date with him to see it cuz he was like, "Maybe I'll go with you and your mom." And I was like, "Or we could go together
Yeah.
alone
Mm-hmm.
and share this together."
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm
we'll
going with
see.
my mom on Wednesday.
Oh, she's
We
going to
already
love
have the
it.
tickets booked.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm excited. She goes, if you don't like it, you're going to have to sit through like 3 hours twice. And I was like,
Right.
but I do. And I'm going to bring Kleenex this time so I can
Yes.
just quietly like sob into it and just accept that. I don't know anybody else in this theater. As long as I don't start hiccuping, it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which we went to see the Conclave and I wasn't crying, but I did get the
Oh.
hiccups. And I swear I hiccuped through 1/3 of that whole movie.
Oh
I couldn't
god.
stop.
That's the one about the Pope, right?
Yes. It's very serious. And they're all like writing their ballots and walking them up and saying their like little pledge in Latin. And I'm like, the whole
Oh my
time.
god.
It's
Wow.
awful.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do that today.
Me too. Me
what
freaking too.
what do you think your favorite part of the movie was? It could be a song, a joke, a scene, anything.
I think that I like it's not a favorite part
Mhm.
per se, like a favorite scene, but my favorite part was Ariana Grande.
Oh.
Really. Yeah, I loved her like Kristen Chenoweth vibes and her little like kind of spazzy like
Yes.
movements. Popular was so great when she's spinning on the little chandelier and she like pushes Cynthia down and she's like singing on the pillow and then they come back up and then she like pushes Cynthia back down.
Yeah.
And I loved all of that. I think that because the show is really emotional for me for like a lot of reasons, it was nice to have the reprieve of being able to laugh instead of just
Yes.
like constantly feeling like you're going to cry.
Yeah.
Even though there's like happy and fun stuff going on, but it's just I don't know, if you grew up listening to it and you've seen it, it just does something to you.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to be able to be like, ha ha ha, because it's like, if I don't laugh right now, I'll cry, but for real.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought she really handled that super well. Like she had a lot of Kristen in her, but also a lot of her in
Yeah.
there. And yeah, I loved her like manic energy, just like
Yeah.
you know, like
There were like points where I'm like, someone's gonna just snap her arm off. She's like so tiny and like they're swinging her around and picking her up, and I'm like, her arm's just gonna pop right off like a
right.
little Barbie doll. But,
It's
but she was
true.
great
Yeah.
and her dancing was good. I
Yeah.
think like I didn't really know what to expect from her because I've only ever seen her like just clips of her from like Nickelodeon. Is that what she was
Oh,
on? Like from Sam and
yes.
Cat and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've only ever seen her do that like kid acting.
Mm. Mhm.
So I was like, I don't know like what
Like, oh
it's
god.
what it's gonna be like. But
Oh my
she did
god.
amazing.
I
I will
just
say on a totally different kind of topic,
Mhm.
um, I really appreciated that they made the shoes silver
Yes. Yes.
because the shoes
Agreed.
are not ruby slippers in the book,
Mhm.
in L. Frank Baum's book.
Yeah.
They're silver shoes, and they made them kind of like diamondy in this. But if you don't know that, or didn't like, don't catch it because Nessa Rose is the Wicked Witch of the East, and the
Mhm.
shoes that her father gives her are the shoes that Dorothy is going to get. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Thank you for that touch.
Yeah, Bryce was probably like, "Why are we zooming in on these shoes
I
several
told him.
times?" Okay.
I whispered that to
Is
him.
this it ends with us?
I also, when Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel came up, I was like, they're the original Glinda and Elphaba from the Broadway production. I was like feeding him little tidbits so he could be impressed with everybody else.
Yeah. And Steven Schwartz made a super quick cameo, eh?
Oh, did he? I didn't
Yeah,
even
he
notice.
so I did hear about that one. He was the guard who said the wizard will see you now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was looking at him and I was like, he looks so familiar and I feel like this is important. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who this fucking guy is.
Yeah, right. It makes me think like who else was in here? Because they
Yeah.
must have had other people from Broadway
Oh, yeah.
versions of it or something like, West End maybe because it's been going for like 21 years or something.
Oh, yeah. There'd be a part for
So,
anybody, like in the chorus and stuff. You need people young and
yes.
old.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'll just stand there and hold something.
Yeah.
Please. You can use me as a model for the monkey if you want, and I'll just sit there with a sensor, you know?
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part?
I think I can't pick a specific like scene like you said or a song, but I loved the sets and the like big panning like bird's eye view shots they had.
Mm,
I just felt like I'm being whisked away and
yeah.
it's so beautiful and whimsical and
So,
yeah.
what was your least favorite moment or thing or
Hmm.
whatever?
Well, I think the least favorite I've already said is the stomping.
Oh, okay.
It took me right out. I was like, why? This is not hard. This is not a
Yeah.
hard moment. I don't know
Yeah,
why
we're not in
this
Stomp
means
the Yard.
hard. Oh my god, no, we're not. And we're not in like Rhythm Nation.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Rhythm Nation. Love it. Not here.
Yeah.
Not here, okay? I feel like sometimes when they were in the Emerald City, I was like maybe they're trying to do like ticking and stuff to show like all the gears and stuff, but I'm like I
Oh.
shouldn't have to think so hard
Yeah.
about this little thing. It should just be like we're in a musical and we're dancing, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I don't want to have to like dissect very specific 10 seconds of four people dancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's too much thought.
I agree. I agree.
So I think the stomping was my least favorite. Took me
Well,
out.
what did you think about Jeff Goldblum?
He was just kind of there for me. Like sometimes I was like, is he just ad libbing? Did he forget his lines and he just like was like, oh yeah, by the way, you know?
He just plays Jeff Goldblum
Yeah,
all the time, which
it's gotten him
I
pretty
don't
far.
I don't agree with in a fantasy
Yeah,
story. I think you need to like embody the character.
yeah.
Also, his sentimental man they cut it down,
Yes, thank
which,
God.
like,
Thank Oz.
yeah, because, well, first of all, that song sucks. Snooze
Yes.
fest. It's like
Yes.
that one song in every show. They
Yep.
also cut down something bad.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage.
I know. The whole freaking movie, Bryce keeps going, I think that's Peter Dinklage. And I'm like, we can look it up after.
He's like, I know something.
Yeah. Let me
I
get
love you, Bryce. I'm
included.
just like, you're like, I'm working. Okay, I've been waiting. Like,
Yeah.
I have to pee. Go. You know?
When she spun around with the cape on and the dust flies up, he goes, the drama. And I was like, girl, just like zip it.
I know. I know. This is the thing. I was kind of worried, like, I mean, I wasn't worried, but I did think to myself, what if, like, people are trying to, like, make comments to me while I'm watching it? I'm like, I'm zoned in. That did not happen. No one tried to
Yeah.
talk to me. Like, Rebecca didn't try to talk to me. You didn't try to talk to me.
No.
The only time was when we got spooked by the
Yeah.
monkey and we went, oh, and we laughed for a
Yeah.
sec.
Yeah. I like can tune him out. He does that all the time. And I'm just like, could we not?
Oh my God.
And it's
Not the
always when
time.
something's like emotional or something, because I think it's like a boy thing. They get uncomfortable and then they feel like they need to
Yes.
say something funny to like lighten the mood. But really, I'm just like,
Yeah. You just ruined my mood.
yeah,
What was
yeah.
your least favorite part or aspect?
Madame Morrible.
Mm. She was just kind of there for me also.
I just feel
Like,
like it just was not good. It was not acted. There was a lot of just focus on saying the lines. There wasn't any kind of like feeling with the lines. I also
mm,
find the way Michelle Yeoh talks, she just sounds the same all the time. It doesn't matter what she's saying, in what movie she's saying it in. It's just always the same.
like very monotone.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I don't
yeah.
like that. And I was
Yeah.
waiting for at the beginning of The Wizard and I, her part kind of like amps you up. Oh, like I've been waiting for you when you're like your powers are so great and we're going to like have this grand future for you. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel like that. I was just like, wow, they changed a lot of notes,
Yeah. It was
which
very Rex Harrison, you know,
yeah, she was
talking and
like
then singing one word.
yeah, and I didn't like that. I
Mm.
really didn't like that. I feel like they could have put her into the movie in a different way if they wanted her in there, and they could have found somebody who was more suited to the role. I feel the same
Mm.
way about Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
He was like pretty
Yeah.
mid.
Yeah, like they both were just kind of there for me. Like
Yeah.
the one part I really liked with her, with Metamorable, wasn't even really to it didn't have much to do with her. It was like more the camera.
Right.
When she turned around after she like talked to the flying monkeys and she's trying to like rile them up. She
Oh,
had like
yeah,
a
and she's
Regina George
walking and they're
moment.
like, yeah.
Yes, because it was like Regina George was like, ha ha ha, I
Yeah.
have started this, you know? I liked
Yeah.
that,
I
but
was trying
yeah.
so hard not to cry after she does the spell and then the monkey's like in pain.
Yeah, I know. I forgot that part from the
Yeah.
musical because I just know, as we know from the movie, like the Wizard of Oz movie, I gotta be
Yeah.
clear here, that the Wicked Witch of the West and the Flying Monkeys work together.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, like what's happening? I was, I
Yeah.
forgot about it.
Yeah. And I mean, we haven't seen in this movie like how they come together yet because clearly right
Yes.
now they're attacking her because
Yeah.
the Wiz, the
Mm-hmm.
wizard,
The Wiz,
and
that's
not
another
her.
one. Another musical. God.
Yeah. So, but that part was just like heartbreaking. And then the little lion in the cage. And when they took Dr. Dillamond
No.
away and they were grabbing his horns and his glasses fell off, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. I thought they used her visions really effectively.
Yes. Yeah, I liked that.
Oh, her seeing him in the cage and she's like, oh no, like this vision is an actual vision and not just me like having a
Yeah,
moment, you know? Like,
I
yeah.
know. And the lion is the cowardly lion. And
Yeah.
like, ugh.
I we're in spoilers, so whatever, I'll just say it. I'm so excited for No Good Deed. I'm
Yeah.
excited for Fiero to become the scarecrow and she saves him and all that. Like that's going to be so dramatic and
Yeah.
epic. I don't remember how we learn about Elphaba's dad in the musical. Like I don't remember when that's revealed, but it's got to happen.
Yeah,
So,
I don't remember.
yeah. I don't know, but I'm excited for No Good Deed and As Long as You're Mine. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I used to listen to that song on repeat. I love it so much. Oh my god. So,
Yeah. I'm excited for good. Like I'm excited, but
oh,
also like I'm gonna cry.
yeah. Yeah.
Cause tearjerker of a song.
Well, and this is the thing. You mentioned it earlier when Cynthia Erivo was crying in the Oz Dust Ballroom or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. I did not feel emotional until I saw her crying.
Yeah.
And every time there was a moment like that in this movie, it just felt so real
Yeah.
because they were actually upset, you
Hmm.
know? And they were in it to win it. And
Yeah,
it
for
was
real.
so effective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Ariana like brushed the tear.
Oh, when they, yeah, because that immediately made me think, like, what if Elphaba's never had someone hold her like this in a
Yeah.
dance because she's never been to a party and everyone's so awful to her, you know? And so she
Yeah.
gets emotional and she's like, oh no, it's
Yeah,
okay.
like the
Like, we're
only person
together.
other than her sister that has ever like touched her.
Is a bear.
Oh yeah. Only person, not
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could think
Oh,
of worse. I mean, like in this context, I could think of
yeah.
worse things to cuddle with than a bear because it would be
Yeah.
really cozy in this context,
Yes.
not in
Yeah.
our world, because that would be bad news, bears. For real.
Depends on the bear, okay?
That's
I'm
true.
a vegetarian.
It doesn't speak English, so
Maybe I speak bear, okay?
please enlighten us, Kelly.
That's another episode. I can't. I have to leave some tricks up my sleeve. I gotta keep people coming back, okay?
Oh my
Did you
gosh.
clock when he said the wizard was like, give the people what they want, whatever? He like sang a little thing. I so
I don't
badly wanted to
know.
look at you and go, give the people
People
what they
what they
want.
want. No, but I didn't at all. When was that?
It was when he did the 3-second tap dance.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Why? I don't
focusing on the
know.
tap dancing because they didn't have his face and his feet in the shot, and I was like, that's not his feet. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah. Those are young people feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh.
Any final thoughts on this movie?
No, I don't. I don't think I do. I think I got all the important stuff out.
Yeah. I am super happy we saw it when we did
Me too.
because A, it's very long. So when we got out, it was just after 6.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, when the movie was done and the lights came up, I said to everyone who I went with, I was like, I need to sit here for a sec. Like I
Yeah.
am so just taken.
Yeah.
My body is left. Like my soul went somewhere. I had to just like recharge for a sec. Like I don't know. I was
Yeah.
hit by everything that they threw our way
Yeah.
and I was exhausted in the best way. I have a tension headache that this Coke is definitely not helping with,
Yep.
but I will fix that after. You need to know what you need to do. But I am happily surprised.
Yeah.
Like I did not think I was gonna like it as much as I did. I was like, well, I hope it's good. At least I'll like the music, you know?
Yeah,
And I think they did a really good job.
I do too. It kind of like you'd think, oh, it made me want to read Wicked. It didn't. It made me want to read Fairy Tale again, actually.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Because it's like very
Okay.
similar, like
Hmm.
fantasy aspects, like Emerald City, that kind of thing.
The
Um,
danger.
yeah, lots of
Hmm.
danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see it again though.
Me too.
And I'm excited for when it comes out to be able to watch at home.
Yes. Oh, with a bathroom break.
Yeah. 2 hours and 40 minutes is a long time to hold your pee.
Yeah, I didn't drink at all in the movie, so my mouth was like so salty with the popcorn, but I was like, I refuse. I was like, I'm here for a long time and a good time,
Yeah.
okay? Like, you're not gonna see me running in and out before Defying Gravity like an amateur, okay?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Well,
god.
by the time we got to that part of the movie, I was kind of like, is it going to happen soon? I feel like we've been here for a long time.
I know every time they kept going up, I was like, where is she gonna go in the air? How
Yeah,
is she gonna go in the air? She's gonna go through the glass? She's gonna
I know.
shatter the glass ceiling? She didn't. I'm glad. Cause ow.
Yeah.
And also on the nose,
Yeah.
you know?
A little too on the
I
nose.
yeah. I did I browsed through Rotten Tomatoes when I got home to see what the bad reviews were saying because it has a 90 from the critics and a 98 with the audience right
Oh,
now.
okay. Yeah.
So very good.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the like rotten reviews was that they were like this was too political and like trying to say things when it's supposed to be like escapist fantasy and I'm like
It's not escapist
sure.
fantasy. It's like the book is very political.
Yes.
That's
Isn't
the
she
point.
like doesn't she spend time with like nuns or something? Like she's like in a convent at some point, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
do
when she's on
remember
the
that like
run maybe.
very, very vaguely as you say it.
Yeah, yeah, like it's not in the musical at all, but I
No.
remember reading that and being like, "Oh, okay. Like something's going on here."
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so funny. I was like, "Dude, you didn't do any research before." Like as a critic, I would think you would want to know just like what the source material is so you know.
Yeah.
Like don't read the book. You don't need to do that, but like
I
okay,
I will
cool.
say, I know we're like we don't have any other thoughts and then we keep talking, but it was kind of surprising to me that they don't mention the water thing at all other than Madame Morrible just putting the umbrella over her and being like, "Oh, you can't get wet."
Yeah.
And I'm like I get it, but I don't get it. Like I obviously I get it because I've read the book and I've watched The Wizard of Oz. But
Mhm.
I just felt like maybe there should have been more about that or even like something with her like taking a bath in milk because that's what she does in the book. She like bathes in
Mm.
milk, which I think would just make you smell awful, but like whatever, I guess.
You'd be sticky.
Yeah.
You'd have to take a bath after your bath, and then you'd just
Yeah.
be sticky forever, for
Yep.
good.
For good.
Also, their blend, the two of them,
So good.
it was like one voice.
I know. I know.
What?
It was
What?
perfect. And I watched, well, I feel like they said this in so many interviews maybe, but they were talking about that and I think it was Cynthia saying um a lot of the time it's hard to sing with other people because one person wants to sing louder or like have more attention or something and they had this ability to sing together like for each other to like
Mm,
to bolster the other person basically and that helped them really like combine. I think too when you're hired to be Elphaba and you're hired to be Glinda, what do you have to prove? Just like do the
right?
job. Like you're
Like, that is
there. You have it.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest roles you could get as a female voice, you
Yep.
know? And you're not baked in best friends, but like you kind of become them. So
Mhm.
you would think and hope that they would want to uplift each other and support each other while they're singing and not be
Yeah.
like, I'm going to fight over you. I don't care
Yeah.
that you're the belter. I'm going to fight over it. You know, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a little weird. But you know what? Singers can be weird. Like musical theater
Yeah.
people can be weird, but like singers,
Weird.
sometimes they have huge egos and
Yep.
attitudes. And it's like, so you can sing, other people can paint, other people can whatever.
Yeah.
You're not any better than anyone else. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's coming from someone who does sing. Like shut
Yeah.
up. You know?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like
Golly.
it it was nice to see them like just seamlessly mesh. I'm seeing a
Mhm.
lot of things online of people cuz theater kids. Theater
Yeah.
kids are. And
Period.
it's like they're best friends now, but wait until the second movie's over and they're gonna be enemies. And I'm like, but that is pretty theater kid. like frenemies. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I love you. I love you too. No, I hate you. I hate you. Like for real.
Seriously.
I'm
Oh my
hoping that's not the
god.
case. And I don't think it will be because they're very professional, but it's just funny to see because that's like it's just a very it's just very theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, and I know like Ariana is the bigger name
Yeah.
going into this.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are like, even in interviews, they're like, "Oh my god, Ariana, like your voice, blah blah blah," and she's always like, Cynthia, can we get like recognition for her because she's like an alien?" She has said she's like she's
Yeah.
so good, and that's the truth. They're both so good,
Yeah.
but I love that they're both like, "Hello, like I get to go to work and sing with one of the best singers on the planet."
Yeah.
Like, holy,
Yeah, and they're doing it for each other, which is really
yes,
nice. I saw an
yeah.
interview with the two of them, Jonathan Bailey and Jeff Goldblum, and Ariana goes, "Well, we're all singers here." And Jonathan and Jeff look at each other, and I was like, "Jonathan's a singer." I would say Jonathan's a singer. But would I say Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum is a singer? No. But she's like, "What? What's so funny?" She just keeps like talking. But we're all
So
singers here.
kind.
I am a sentimental man. Song's over.
Yeah. Let me go behind the curtain. That's
Yeah.
enough. Go away, Moon. I was like,
Yeah. And he comes out through like the vagina opening in the thing. Like it's like the beginning of vagina monologues.
what is he doing here? You know? Get out of here. God.
Oh,
Cis het man. Get out of
right?
here.
I'm so happy we went to see it. And I'm glad that we get
Me
to talk to
too.
everybody about it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Are you guys going to see the movie? Are you going to bring your friends? Have you read the book? We would love to hear your thoughts. Like, yeah, I would talk to anybody about this. I'm just like so over the moon, excited,
Yeah.
happy. I feel fulfilled.
Me too. I feel like it's been a long time since we've got something like this.
Yes.
And it was
And I
needed.
mean, John M. Chu, he did In the Heights, the movie, and I
Mhm.
loved that too.
Yep.
So, cried in that one, cried like a baby in that one. So,
Yeah. I did too, but I was at home, so I could do it safely.
yes, same. I am cautiously optimistic about part 2.
Same.
We'll see. They've buttered me up. We'll see how part 2 goes. At least we'll have a few really good songs.
Yep. That's
So,
true.
yeah.
Guaranteed good songs.
Yes.
And then
And
we'll
it will
just
probably be shorter than the first part. Probably.
I kind of hope so. I mean, really, it would be nice if it was short enough that you could conceivably watch both of them in one night since they are one
Yes.
story.
Yeah. Oh, you know what would be cool? If they did like a midnight release viewing whatever double feature.
Oh, yeah, and
Watch
you could
part
watch the
1.
first half and then at midnight you watch the second half.
Yes. Have
Yeah,
your
that would be
little
nice.
concession bathroom break in between.
Yep. I would do that.
Just saying, me too. Oh my god, yeah. Sign me up. Where do I buy my tickets?
We can do that at once it's out. We can do that at my house on the projector. And then we can just cry.
Yes.
We can just have the lights off and ignore each other and we can just fucking cry. Because we don't have to get a headache. We can just let it out.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I was gonna say I need someone to say something mean so I can cry and get this out, but no, I'll just find another way to cry.
You could just listen to Defying Gravity.
Oh, I'll watch the video again
Yeah.
of her going up. Oh my god, yeah, I can't. I have to lie down. I'm done.
I know. I'm ready to crawl in bed.
Right? So, with that, everybody, thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode and manic review of Wicked Part 1. If you want to stay up to date on all of our other bookish, mantic goings on, mantic? What the heck is that?
I don't know.
And you just looked at me that whole time.
I was like, we're tired. We're just rolling with it.
It's because I've been listening to make believe words.
We're trying to
Wicked.
say antics, bookish antics,
manic antics. If you want to keep up to date with all of this and this energy that we're bringing, you can follow us on Instagram at BYO Book Podcast or on TikTok at Bring Your Own Book Podcast. So, with all that being said, remember, no one mourns the wicked.
Except us.